Hello, it's Wednesday, the 10th of August 2016. I had to go to the doctor's today because 2 days ago I took a pregnancy test and the test came back positive. I think I'm still in a bit of shock. So yeah, so we're having a baby. Me and my husband are having a baby. 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. It is very, very exciting. So happy, so thankful. We've been trying for about 9 months and hasn't really happened for us, and I was really kind of worried that there was something wrong with me or something wrong with my husband, but we had all of our tests and everything was fine. I did have quite a severe deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, basically because I avoid going out in the sun at all costs. They've given me some liquid vitamin D tablets, which seem to have done the trick actually. In the last month that I've been taking them, we've managed to conceive. So I'm so happy. It's really hard trying for a baby because every kind of month that I got my period, I was really disappointed, and it's quite disheartening as well. But then for the next month, you get all hopeful and you're like, I believe we can do it. It's gonna happen. So it's been so wonderful that we've managed to like make a baby. I don't know, make a baby. I think is what you call it. I'm so excited. I don't think we'll really tell anyone. Well, they say you shouldn't really tell anyone because there's a chance that I could lose the baby and miscarry. I want to tell my mum and dad when I see them like face to face. I don't really want to do it over the phone. So it's really nice at the moment that only me and my husband know, and it's like, this bit of hair. It's like our little secret. So it's really nice. It's like this little gem that we're holding in our hearts.
So we've got some news.
What?
What's that?
Found out that Sammy's pregnant.
Oh no! Congratulations! Well done. Oh, so happy.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely.
So I've got some news to tell you. Ready? We're gonna have a baby!
Oh.
That's why it's come all the way down. I'm 4 weeks
I've
pregnant.
never smelled a rat for some reason or other.
We found out 2 days
I
ago.
found out 2 days ago. I'm 7 weeks pregnant today. I've had the most stressful, upsetting, worrying 48 hours. I went to A&E on Friday because the previous evening I felt very sharp and intense pains down by my kind of left hip. It was so intense, and for about 5 minutes I couldn't speak or talk. I was just like, oh, such sharp pains. I went to bed just thinking, oh, maybe it's just growing pains, you know, everything's kind of growing down there and, you know, it's fine. And then the next day I woke up on Friday morning and I found that there was brown blood when I went to the toilet. And so I Googled it and they said, oh, it's not normal, but it's not uncommon. So as long as it doesn't turn bright red, you're fine, because it kind of shows that brown blood is old blood, so you haven't got nothing to worry about. Throughout the day though, the blood flow became more and it was getting redder and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? And then I was getting really like quite intense abdominal cramps and my back was really hurting, my lower back. I said to my husband Mel, I said, like, I think we need to go to A&E because I'm really not feeling very well and like I'm not sure what's going on down there. You know, it's my first pregnancy and according to the things that I'm reading, I don't think that this is normal. Got to the hospital, saw the doctor, and I told him what I'd been experiencing, and he said, because you've had the sharp pains to your left side, it may suggest that you're having an ectopic pregnancy, where the fertilised egg doesn't actually travel down to the uterus, it stays in the fallopian tube and it kind of just is just there. So I was like, okay, crap, how do I deal with this? And then I was transferred to the gynecological doctor. Ow, sorry. Oh, I'm still getting these cramps. And she examined me. She said that she wanted to admit me into the hospital because if you're ectopic, then you've got a high risk of internal bleeding. 1 AM I was admitted, my husband went home. They inserted a drip to keep me hydrated and they basically said, you know, you're gonna be nil by mouth, no food, no drink, because if it is ectopic, then we're gonna have to operate. It's like quite a frightening place to be, a hospital ward in the middle of the night, you know, just surrounded by strangers and you're already going through this kind of physical, traumatic experience. I just absolutely burst into tears, was just sobbing into my pillow. It was awful, and the bleeding was getting worse as I was in a hospital. I was getting clots. Went from the ward down to the ultrasound area and I saw the consultant, and by that point I was so emotional because I was like, I'm pretty sure that this that this baby is not there, it's not going to be there. She started the ultrasound and she said to me, "You've got 3 large fibroids." That's the first thing that she saw. And they were so big that they're the size of a tennis ball. 2 of them are the size of a tennis ball. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she basically said they're muscly growths, but they're outside of the womb. So I was like, and she was like, that's a good thing. So then she went up and had a look in the uterus.
Here is the beating heart.
It's beating, is it?
Yes. There, where the arrow shows.
Yeah, can see it.
Okay. Good.
It's all in the right place.
It's all in the right place. Okay.
Such an enormous wave of relief went over me. I was just like, what? There is a baby there, because I completely prepared myself for the worst. But it was so like wonderful to see the baby and the little heartbeat. And it was like, I'm only 7 weeks, so that's incredibly early. And she was quite reassuring, because she said, now that we've done the scan and I've seen the heartbeat, your chances of miscarrying have been reduced to just 5%. So we were like, for you, because we've been so worried with all the cramping and bleeding and everything, it was such a relief. And I just said to her, like, I don't understand why I'm having this cramping and bleeding. She goes, well, I can't see any blood up there. We measured the fibroids and said, you know, there's nothing we can do right now because you're pregnant. Maybe after you have the baby, they'll be able to remove it. So she gave us a little photograph of the ultrasound, and it just really warmed my heart, because it was like, oh, it's, you know, your little bub is still down there. It's still like with us. She just said, like, bleeding is not normal, but it's not uncommon. If it gets worse, then let us know. If the cramping gets worse, let us know. But she goes, you know, everything looks fine. So I was discharged from hospital yesterday, and then it wasn't until last night at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I had intense cramps on my left side again. It was so incredibly painful. Went upstairs and I basically sat on the toilet for about an hour, and I've never had such pain, but this was constant pain and pressure, and my back was killing me, and I almost felt like I was going to die. I'm trying not to be too worried because of, you know, we had the scan yesterday, but this is a totally different level. And also when I went to the toilet last night, I passed some, looked like tissue. It was kind of like a whitey grey colour. Literally just after I filmed that little bit earlier, I went to the toilet and I passed some more blood and some endometrial tissue, which totally freaked me out, because I was like, am I having a miscarriage? I dashed down to A&E and had to wait for 4 hours. It's so bad, 4 hours, and my cramps were still there, and I'm still bleeding, and I was just freaking out. Eventually got seen by an emergency doctor, and she's basically referred me to go back to the early pregnancy unit to have another scan. I'm very thankful that she was able to prescribe me some stronger painkillers. She's given me some codeine. At the moment, I'm just in so much pain that I need to take these. So I know that they're not great for the baby, but right now I'm in so much pain, it's awful. It's like being pregnant, but having a horrific period. Hello, it's the next morning. I went to bed last night and went to the toilet, and my bleeding got a lot lighter. It was kind of like light pink, so I was like, that's really positive. And then I went to sleep, and then I woke up at 6 in the morning, and I could feel like something, sorry to be like explicit, I guess, about this. I could feel like something wet was coming out, like a lump. So I went to the toilet, and I'm pretty sure that I had a miscarriage last night. I wrapped it in tissue. I was lucky that it didn't go down the toilet. Probably about as long as my finger, really dark coloured, like blood, like just like a big kidney bean, I guess. So I wrapped it up in some tissue, and I didn't really look at it, to be honest with you, because too closely, because I don't like that sort of thing, and it was already quite upsetting, and I just placed it on the side, and then I told my husband, and then I'm pretty sure it's gone now. So it's a bank holiday here in London, England, so I've got to wait today and then call up my GP tomorrow, and hopefully they can refer me for a scan and just like, you know, confirm whatever. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit down today. I know, like, I do believe that all things happen for a reason, and you know, there might have been problems with the chromosomes. It might not have had the right number of chromosomes or anything like that, and I think it makes it especially difficult because on Saturday we saw the heartbeat, so like it was very, very real. And then within the space of 24 hours, and then going to A&E again yesterday, and looking back now, those pains I was having, those intense pains, was probably me having the kind of my uterus contracting to kind of flush it out. So the human body is wonderful but weird, and yeah, this is my first pregnancy, so I'm a little bit, I'm pretty devastated, to be honest with you. I just feel like overwhelming sadness. I just feel so sad. Like, when you find out you're pregnant, you have so much hope, and we've been trying like for 8 months to have this baby, so it's really a wanted and planned pregnancy, and you try not to get ahead of yourself, you know, thinking about the due date is April, and you know, it'll be a spring baby, and you know, thinking about, I've been trying not to get ahead of myself, but it's so hard not to, because it's unbelievably exciting to find out that you're carrying, you know, yours and your husband's or your partner's baby. But it's been pretty horrendous, like the last kind of 48 to 72 hours. This whole bank holiday weekend's just been awful. I can say that my pain's stopped now, which would tie in with the fact that it's all kind of, the process is completed. Just feel a bit numb. I think my husband feels a bit numb as well. Like, how do you tell your mum and dad as well? It's awful, you know, because they're like, they were so excited, and we had to tell them. We could not have not told them that I wasn't pregnant for like 12 weeks, because, you know, like, if I was saying, if something goes wrong, we're going to need your support. So there you go, that's self-prophesying, isn't it? It's indescribable, this feeling. It's real. The depths of sadness is so profound, and my heart goes out to any other person that's experiencing this. It's so harrowing and traumatic. It's sad because, you know, like, we've made that, but maybe it saved us from having difficult decisions in the future. I don't know. Trying to see the silver lining. I'm going to delete all these apps, baby apps, off my phone now, and okay, I'm going to stop feeling sorry for myself. This is the end of my pregnancy vlog.